Live from Linguini's base of operations, today we will be diving into balances in life, where motivation goes when you're too busy, my challenge for September, and a quote about nothing. Today's episode features a guest, GlacierRockShinobi, so you're going to want to stay tuned for the dough. See you on the flip side.
You are now listening to Linguinis Dough.
Most definitely. Like, everyone I know has just been having this like crazy thing, like ever since quarantine and all that.
Yeah, dude, it's quarantine is I don't want to do it anymore. Ready to advance on, you know?
Right. It did like, I will say, you know, as much as like other people, you know, it's probably like ruined their lives. For me, at least, you know, I've gotten more good things out of it than bad things, just because, you know, it's provided me time to, you know, be able to clear my head and be able to get my motivation back.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, burnout tended to happen to come along because after having completed both sides to Garmadon versus John Wick, like those two projects just knocked the wind out of me, you know, because, you know, like as you try to get better, it becomes a much more lengthy process, unfortunately, especially when you're doing it by yourself.
Mm-hmm. And I was honestly a bad voice actor in terms of I waited till the last second to do it.
I mean, to say the very least, your audio was very nice. You know, it was nice and clear, to say the least.
Not recorded on a phone.
Right.
Yeah, so would you say it was during... Here, let me introduce you real quick, and then I'll continue. So this is the first piece of dough today, and we have our first guest, GlacierRockShinobi. And
hello, guys.
Yep. And I found a comment from him, or I've had multiple comments from him, but one of them that really stuck out, where he offered to be a guest. I know it's like a month later, and here we are now.
Hello, guys. It's very, very much an honor to be here. I definitely needed something new to happen in my life, so I'm very glad that you were willing to have me on one of your episodes.
I appreciate you being on as well. All right.
Totally.
So I guess since we've already started a little bit, would you say your burnout kind of started to happen before COVID, or do you think it was like kind of both with COVID and before COVID?
It was kind of both with and after, but I don't know. It more so happened back when I still had my job, because, you know, like, it really killed my motivation to do anything, because, you know, it was being $10 an hour, being paid to work 10 to 12-hour shifts at times, even covered 5 different shifts at 1 week, having to drive home late at night, just completely soaking wet and covered in like just smelling like disposed food. So yeah, that was very pleasant to do every night, just head home soaking wet, having to shower before bed all the time, and having to spending another hour just taking care of my pets, having to run laps up and down the stairs, just having to take care of 3 different reptiles, and
oh man,
all kinds of those things. But yeah, crazy enough to think, you know, you've probably like had had something similar happen that caused you to lose motivation, just all kinds of things.
Yeah, right now I'm in kind of like the same place. I work full-time at McDonald's or whatever, and it's just, you come home and you're just ready to just flop on the ground, like you were saying, or you have to.
I know. And then, you know, the most unfortunate thing is when your breaks are only 1 day off, and like, you know, it's like, it's like, come on, I still need time to build motivation and all that. At least that's how it works for me. It's different for everybody, you know?
Yeah. I've read something saying that when you work at, like, have you ever worked 7 days just straight in a week?
Yes, I have actually. I've worked like, well, yeah, especially that week I covered like 5 shifts in a row. I worked
That's
like
so many.
I don't know. It's too much for me to count.
Yeah.
It's because I had to cover for both dishwashers because neither of them were coming to work because one of them had a severe eye infection, whereas the other, their family members wound up, doing their family members wound up passing due to an unfortunate cause. So yeah, I had to cover for both of them, and I got along well with both of them. So of course I was willing to make the sacrifice.
Yeah. Yeah. What I was saying is, I think a healthy amount is 5 days, or actually 4 days would be a lot healthier, if I'm being honest here. But,
Yeah, most definitely.
but when you have the 6th and 7th day off or whatever, it's good for one day to just rest, and then the next day, do whatever. I feel like when you're working 6 days, it kills you because you just want to rest that one day and then trying to do your John Wick animation.
Right, most definitely. Like I never ever got to work on either of them until I finally got laid off, I mean, I wasn't really laid off for the first bit. I was just for the first bit I just I was on a paid furlough for a little bit but they were expecting me to return once things got back to normal, but things haven't gone back to normal yet, and I don't know if I'll be returning to the job because if I'm to be honest, it's probably it's not quite as good as the previous jobs I had before it, but yeah, I don't know. It was just kind of an irritating job, very kind of overwhelming.
It's just making your life more stressful overall.
Yeah, just overall, it just makes your life more stressful. But also, after a little while of being laid off, unfortunately, they stopped paying me eventually, and then so basically, I just now rely on basically stimulus checks.
Yeah. Hey, they're a little convenient.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So did you ever feel like you had a balance between working and animating when you were doing that?
No, there was not really a balance. It's more like my job was just taking over because, oftentimes I'd have to do 10 to 12 hour shifts, especially when I first started at that job, I kept having 10 to 12 hour shifts, and oh boy, you do not
long.
It really is. I actually did one at one point, because I'd always have to stay to close. So whenever I did, I could never really find non-slip shoes. I would just oftentimes I would just stop in the Walmart parking lot. And then I'd walk in, I'd look at their cheap shoes, I would test the grip on them, and if they would grip the floor well enough, I thought that was good enough, I'd just call it good and then just buy the shoes. Well, yeah, I've already trashed both pairs that I've went through throughout the time I've actually had the job. So yeah, I'd just go in there, call it good enough. But then at one point, when I was closing, I actually, I would continue to skate around because they didn't work.
Yeah, oh, look at these non-slip shoes that I slip on.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're like those typical running shoes you just run into at a sports store. So yeah, so them being running shoes, and people who do parkour use them all the time to run up walls and all that.
You're like doing parkour while doing the dishes.
Basically, but yeah, at one point when I was closing, I was like, you'd have to soak the floor with just buckets of hot water. One time wound up actually slipping and then just taking a huge splash of blazing hot water to the face.
Oh.
And yeah, just the entire side of my face and my eye just turned completely red.
Oh no.
But
Fun
yeah,
times.
yeah. It only happened once, fortunately. Yeah. Um, but thankfully, because like as I was getting tired of the job, I was also thinking to myself, I just barely graduated high school. Life just started for me, so
Mm-hmm.
like it's probably wiser that I just go for part time and try making a bit extra money, but also like enjoying my young life while I can before I actually wind up having actual problems to worry about.
Yeah. So are you working part-time right now? Or
No, I
just...
did. Unfortunately, not. I did apply to work at Vans while I was still working at Chili's. But the the unfortunate thing was that okay, so they didn't really find my application until 3 months later.
Oh, no.
So they finally got back to me after 3 months. And so I interviewed there, and they said it was seasonal. So I was just like, I don't mind. I'm just trying to make extra money, but also at the same time, just just try hiking at all costs. Just going through all the mountain ranges and just hiking as many as possible. Because I'm a
Yeah.
total. I'm like my whole life I've always been a major mountain person. Or
Very
just
fun.
mountains in the desert.
I was just camping this last, like literally I came back today, and we actually camped up on this. We brought our mountain. Oh my goodness. Me and my brother and I think it was my nephew, we went up this mountain, and it was like a super steep mountain, and we put our tent there. It was really fun.
Nice on just like the steep side. No worries about if you like. Want to roll over in your sleep, or you never know what someone's going to do in their sleep. It's always an unpredictable state of mind when you're subconscious.
I was kind of worried that was gonna happen. Like we're just gonna roll, and oh whoops, there we go.
Yeah, that's the kind of experience you should just kind of expect, because it's just you've just got unpredictable nature when you're in that state of mind, because
Yeah.
you just want to, you don't want to worry about anything. You just want to feel like you're floating in midair regardless. And then, so one night, I was heading up to the reservation to see my family.
Mm-hmm.
My dad's side of the family, and I'm actually going to be heading up there for my uncle's funeral because he recently died of but
I'm sorry.
yeah, so it's all good. Just things happen, but yeah, so one night we often stop in Reno, Nevada, because it's a 2-day trip to get there.
Yeah.
One time we actually did take the full 15-hour trip there, though.
Oh no, dude, that would.
It actually wasn't too bad. We woke up at 2 a.m. But the great thing about me is that I'm an early riser, and once I wake up, I can't go back to sleep. So
Yeah.
So anyways. So yeah, on our way over to the reservation, like me and my sister had to share a bed. Me and like both of my siblings had to share a bed. And so as I was asleep, apparently I was like, making all kinds of weird noises, so we go to sleep, and then I wake up and my sister is just ranting to me about all the weird things that I did in my sleep. Apparently,
Oh no.
apparently I wound up like kicking her off the bed.
Oh.
And then all of a sudden I was just like saying weird stuff like I was possessed or something, like
Get off my lawn.
Pasa, pasa. And then like apparently according to her I laughed when I kneed her off the bed. I don't know why I'd laugh about that, And then and then apparently later I was just like, no, mommy, no, don't go. I don't. All kinds of weird stuff. So yeah. So now every time my family goes on vacation, I am ordered to just sleep on the sofa bed. It's very understandable.
Yeah, I guess if you do kick someone off.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm stuck. I'm a death machine stuck in auto. I guess that's one way of describing it. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah.
So, honestly, sounds like a song title. Death machine stuck in auto.
All right, so that's what we're gonna be doing next, is writing a song.
Yes. We're gonna be writing all the songs.
In auto. All right. I was gonna like ask like what was your basic stop motion process, but I feel like we've kind of gone past that, and there are a lot of tutorials already. But if you do want to go ahead and share.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely share. It certainly became a lengthy process as I tried to improve, but
yeah.
Basically what I do is it was also like through years of experience. I just like look back at old stop motions, and I'd watch over them and look at and just see like little mistakes I made, or like just look at little things I did that I'd want to avoid for the next project. Because I just like to go back and notice the flaws. Also, like I didn't really have much of a style when I first started until I actually I watched Artifacts Creations do their Ninjago fights, and like I could tell it was like, I thought it was like so awesome looking. I was just like, oh, sick. So like I watch a lot of anime because they totally have like all those kinds of fight scenes that I'd want to do and all that. So I'd like pay close attention to their choreography and see how I can make it work.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, most definitely. I don't really have the best way of describing it, but definitely, my only real hint of advice is to, like learn the basics, but then afterwards, try discovering yourself.
Yeah, that's because if you don't have your own style, it's kind of like what you're actually doing.
Right, but and then you'll see what other people are doing, and you're just like, oh, I'm inspired now.
Yeah. Dude, I think your stop motions, I don't know, they just kind of, I like the vibe. I don't know if vibe was the right word, but I do like how your style is. How it kind of has the, I'd say anime type vibe, I guess. I'm going to go with vibe. Right. I like that word.
Right. Yeah, well, I appreciate that. I'm glad to know. Very flattered. All right. Yeah, see, like, whenever I watch yours, like, it's quite calming, like, oftentimes I'll, like, go back to watch Battle for Brickma, and, just, I don't know, like, just kind of, like, the smooth voice you, like, kind of give the elites and all that, like,
yeah.
And just the way they move, it just looks like something that, you'd watch on the weekend when you've got nothing, but really, you've just got nothing going on.
Netflix and...
Basically, like, because I used to be like super addicted to Halo, and so it would just like give me a whole hint of nostalgia just watching it, just giving me the whole Halo atmosphere kind of vibe.
Yeah,
like it'll give me those types of chills.
I wish, I don't know, see, that's the project that actually got me burnt out on stop motion. That's like the hardest part for me, is because I don't know, for me it's just so hard to work on it now, like just trying to get the next episode,
because it's like as you're trying to get better, it becomes like I said earlier, it just becomes a much more lengthy process because you're like adding so much more depth than you used to,
and you're not happy with like a lot of the shots you end up doing. And
right but the whole thing is, though, like, it's like another thing, the reason why you lose motivation is you also like worry, like, if it's like not gonna go out as planned or anything like that.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what happened with me whenever, I'd start a new project, because I'd go like 3 months without doing one because first off, like after completing one, it would just knock the wind out of me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll try having a break. Yeah. And then I'll try having a break until, the break will just wind up getting too long, and then you start to lose motivation the longer you wait, because, you're just like, I probably lost some skills. So you're just like, I don't know if this is going to really appeal to the audience or not, nor myself really.
Yeah.
But, that's the kind of habit I feel like people should really break. And, it's not really something to worry about, because either way you're doing something productive. And, as you just continue to do it, it'll just build confidence, and, it'll become less of a hassle.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like whenever because given how long my last few projects were, it kind of made me want to, just kind of abandon the whole thing and just be like, it's not that I've lost interest in the whole thing. It's not that I've lost the appeal. I still very much love doing this, but as much as I do, I feel like it's best that I stop for now, because having a brain fart right now.
I know.
But yeah, you feel like you should just put it to rest, because you just feel it just holds you back from so many other things that will take less time to do, because as much as you'd like to grow, like there are just so many things holding you back, and you just begin to like get the anxiety that you won't be able to put things out there, you might
have to delay it, just
just for the time being, because it's just like, it's kind of a hassle. One thing, but you also learn from mistakes all the time. Like what I wish I did before starting my series, Shadow of the Vicious. I'm not sure if you've seen any of it or not.
I think I still need to see it. Yeah, because I only recently subscribed to you, and I haven't gone through too many of your videos yet.
Yeah, I've only ever released 2 episodes, and I wanted like everything to be done from scratch. Like I wanted it to like be all original.
Mm-hmm.
So like I decided to like make the music from scratch, make the design my own characters, and just have all this stuff done. Craft my own little setups.
Aren't they longer episodes too, like 10 minutes?
I normally just try to make them as long as they need to be, just to keep it good. I don't want to add in any fillers.
Yeah. I haven't seen them yet, so I think I just barely, like, when I was rewatching your John Wick things today, I think I think it was what's it called again? My bad.
Shadow of the Vicious.
Shadow of the Vicious. I'll make sure to watch it. But I think I saw some sort of thing for it, and it was like 10 or 11 minutes, right? Right.
Yeah, the second one is about 11 minutes long.
Yeah, that's
I didn't even think it was gonna be that long. That episode took me 2 months to complete.
That's a while.
Right.
I'm assuming that was like constant grinding on it.
Right. Yeah. Well, and when I was making it, I just barely got, I got my first DSLR camera. It was a Nikon, and I was so excited to use it because, it was definitely going to make it a lot more cinematic.
It's a huge step up.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had to, I couldn't figure out how to disable motion detection, which led to it having tons of light flicker. I was I was kind of disappointed with the end product because, because I was like, I'm so proud of this scene. It's lit so well, but the light is flickering. And it just looks so nice because it's like I couldn't be more proud of this than any other thing I've done. It's still still to this day, it's still my favorite it's still my favorite scene with my favorite lighting to this day, regardless of the flaws that happened all throughout with all the light flicker incident and all that.
Too bad it's not easier to like adjust light flicker manually, but I don't know why, but that's just hard for software to do.
Well, yeah. I mean, I got I got the free version of a professional software called HitFilm Express. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that or not.
I've never tried it, but I've heard of it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I definitely got that one. So it's because like if you use like stuff like iMovie or Windows Movie Maker, like chances are there may be light flicker. It wasn't much of a problem. Like the problem is, it wasn't until I actually got my when I used to film with my webcam. It wasn't until I got the Logitech webcam when I actually started to experience light flicker. Camera shake was always like the big thing for me.
Oh, I remember that. That's
but
it's wobbling.
Yeah, light flicker didn't really become a problem until later in my career.
All right, so I'm gonna go into the next question. What do you dislike about stop motion? Since there's a lot of things to enjoy, what's possibly the thing that's just like, ugh?
Oh yeah, it can for the most part it can be very satisfying to do, but like just the like, oh my gosh, it can get pretty boring just with how tedious it can be.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you want to use visual effects, like you're gonna have to like play through those. Like they're fun to do. Like don't look at me wrong. As much as I love editing, like I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually like striving to become like god tier at it, just so I can do it freelance. But yeah, like when you're first starting out with a more professional software, it can be kind of a mess because like organization is very important. Yeah. But when you're just barely getting to know a software, like you can just you just get so excited that you just start piecing things just everywhere, just spreading it all over the timeline. no labels whatsoever. You're just like, it's just like whenever a new track needs to be added, you just add it regardless. You don't even, and it feels so complex to just know that there's also an audio mixer that you can play with, even though really it's not that bad. It's not as bad as it seems. You're just making it sound worse than it really is. But I'd say the worst part of it is literally just just having to go through the entire time, the very timely process.
Mm-hmm. And you usually do it by yourself as well, so
right, yeah. And it's especially hard when you have like nothing in common with your friends. I mean, I do have a lot in common with my best friend. He's very interested in doing animation, but he's not really like a Lego or stop motion guy, but he's just more recently I helped him out to install Blender on his computer, and he's been having more fun with that thing than anyone I know. He's just been going to town on that.
He's like, look at all these
software.
things I can do. Once upon a time, I learned how to set a monkey on fire in Blender.
That's pretty sick, but awesome.
It's actually really easy. It's just like a couple buttons and
right. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that kind of makes me think about a game. It sounds kind of like a mix of Ghost Rider and Twisted Metal. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the game called Twisted Metal, but
I don't think I've played it.
Yeah, it's like an old car game where you have to like go through combat. But yeah, their mascot is like a clown character who has his head on fire.
Oh, you know what? I don't think I know the game, but I might know of like overall what you're talking about.
Right. I also apologize to the audience if they can hear my drum chair squeaking. I definitely need to get a better chair for, I definitely need to get like a comfortable swivel chair. But for now, I'm just very ghetto with my setup.
You're just going with what works.
Yep, just doing what works.
Okay, here's a question that might throw you off. Do you think your stop motion channel is successful? Because I know it is close to 1,000 subs.
Oh man, it definitely isn't. It's dead. Cause I used to be like very productive on it. I was like the most productive kid on the planet. I'd always spend my free time just making just random stop motions for people to watch. And I didn't script them either. I just filmed whatever came to my head and just posted them nonstop. It was just a whole lot of fun. And then later my mom, we went on a 6-month trial with because we had a bunch of kids come over every weekend whenever I'd want to make my videos, but they would always,
that exact feeling.
Yeah, and they would just always get onto our computer. So I wound up not releasing a stop motion for a year because they would just be on the computer constantly, and I would just sit in my room and kind of do nothing because I didn't really know how to like adjust or anything. So
yeah.
Because so oftentimes it would be fun to like stay over at a friend's house for the most part, and I'd just go skateboarding. But I just wasn't able to edit videos for a year straight.
Oh, and that's...
But anyways, once the trial was over, I finally, I was so excited to get back to making my videos. So the second I got back onto YouTube, I released my first, I came back with a new channel trailer, which was cheesy, but overall, it was great to get back to doing stop motion.
Look
and
at
then,
this.
Yes, I was like, everybody, I'm back, and I was hoping that people in my audience would be back and excited, which a few of them were, fortunately. But when I once I got back, Google Plus was dead, everyone was just inactive on YouTube. No one was really active on YouTube anymore. So I was just like, what happened here? So I had to ask a bunch of questions to people, and they were saying, apparently the community has kind of died down over the year I was gone, which was pretty unfortunate. So after that, I was like, I'm pretty sure I can maybe still, start from, I can start fresh and, have a whole new audience. Because, I left off with about 494 subscribers, and then it narrowed down to 474 because, I was how long I was gone. But so that's what I did. I tried forming an audience from scratch, and so it was great to have a little audience again. But and then I just wound up coming to a tipping point, being less productive again, because it was just a hassle, having to rely on other people for your projects, because when you want to make your stuff really good and you want it to seem you want it all to be professional, and you do most things by yourself, and also have to kind of have to wait on other people, and sometimes other people can delay your times when you don't set a deadline.
Yeah,
often, and also it can be a kind of a struggle to find people. You see, I kind of, wound up getting jealous that, because, in the Ninjago community, it was easy. It's so easy for people to actually, because, I was never really a part of the Ninjago community myself. I've just always had this obsession with ninjas, and I've always wanted to make ninja movies, so.
And earlier you said you saw the Ninjago stop motions as well.
Right, yeah. I never my stop motions were never really meant to be Ninjago oriented. I just used their sets to my advantage to make little ninja movies, because like it's not like I can go around and just ask my friends to dress up like ninjas and just run around all over the place looking stupid. So I just used Lego minifigures to my advantage. But yeah, for people in the Ninjago community though, so of course I've had some sort of involvement because ninjas, of course. So
Yeah.
So of course I got to know people within that community, and a lot of the time, those people will just, go haywire and release a new episode every single week. And, it like they would be, enjoyable to they'd definitely be enjoyable to watch. But, the one thing that really, the whole reason they have, more time on their hands is because, they, a lot of the time they're more about storytelling than the stop motion aspect.
Oh yeah, I know.
Because they're like big fans of the show and they love the characters, so it's basically like writing fan fiction,
with a little bit of animation to spice it up.
With a bit of animation to spice it up. So yeah, it wasn't until later, like as I continued to do things by myself and tried to improve, that was when I realized, like I started looking back at, all the Ninjago animators, and the whole reason they're able to be consistent is because, they don't rely on other people to work with them, when it comes to voice acting. And also another thing that really saves them time is that a lot of the times they download the music that they use. They just look for royalty-free music to use rather than having to
compose it.
To compose it all themselves. Rather than
Actually, so I personally only in Battle for Brickma, the prologue. That's like the only song that was specifically made for one of my videos. Do you write the songs for most of your videos?
Yeah, actually, for the most part, I don't. Well, more recently, I've been getting addicted to this musical genre called post-rock. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna write that down so I check it out later.
Yeah, it's kind of got I more recently fell in love with that genre of music because it kind of, it gives me that very chilling, mountain, that kind of misty mountain atmosphere. Mm-hmm. It's stuff that makes me feel like I'm hiking it through misty woods and all that. So it's like, this is perfect for what I want. So, and I've definitely got some money, so I can definitely, spare some change to just buy it, to just, so, to just purchase all these albums I've been digging, and
it saves you a lot of time as well.
Definitely saves a lot of time. Yes. Most definitely.
So on your new channel, the GlacierRockShinobi, what type of content do you think you're gonna plan on doing rather than stop motion for the future once that does start happening?
Well, you've basically seen it all, just all sorts of film stuff. Actually, I do have a travel film that's actually a month past due because and I more recently recorded a second, a couple of weeks ago, I recorded a second travel film. The only reason I haven't released those right after I got back was because, like I said, I kind of had burnouts and, I just haven't been feeling like really doing anything.
Yeah.
Because, you just get so worried when you lose motivation because you're just like, if I get back to doing that, it's just gonna feel like a job if I get back to doing it.
Yeah.
But it's like, I've got to work on them eventually. And also more recently, I also recorded a film at the lake with my friends. We're just playing stupid little lake games, whatever, thingamajigs. But I do plan to make live action fight scenes and all that, just all things filmmaking, you know, you can or what you can expect. All things filmmaking.
That's pretty much why I made Landini Linguini. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I was like telling you about it, and you're like, "Oh, I want to do the same thing."
Yeah, exactly. You know, like I don't know that's why, you know, like I don't know. That's also part of why I really wanted to collaborate with you, and fortunately, you know, I'm here.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, we both live by a familiar looking mountain range, you know, with very similar looking mountain ranges. Because you know, when
mountain time zone.
I know, both in mountain time zone. I assumed that you like lived in mountain time zone the second I saw you like make your first video and you were showing like the mountain range, and I was just like, those mountains look so familiar. He's definitely in the mountain range.
Oh man. I don't know if I've ever mentioned like the view I have just from my room. I can see like the whole valley from my state along with the mountains. It's crazy.
Yeah. So do I. Like I can see the mountains literally from my bedroom window.
It's so nice.
Yes, I'm literally just like a mile away from the mountains.
Oh wow, I mean that you said you like hiking too, so.
Yeah, most definitely, man. All the way, you know, you like I especially, you know, like for the most part, like most of my films that you can expect on here on GlacierRockShinobi, you'll definitely be seeing tons of, you know, films that I'm making in the mountains and the desert for the most part.
Yeah, that's actually so dope. That's what I don't live like right by the mountains, but like I'd say
you can definitely see them from where you live.
Yeah. I think also we both can agree on with these new channels, we don't want to make them a chore, just something we kind of enjoy.
Yeah, we just want to you know, do what we want to do for fun, you know. Personally, I'm the kind of creator who doesn't really wants to take requests. I'm just like, you know, I'm like, because you know, it's like I'm not asking them what they want to see. I'm just making what I, you know, like what because you know, like I want to express more who I am rather than, you know, just trying to, you know, it's like you know, you know, it's like I just want to express myself as an artist, and you know, you'll know who's for real if they stay or not. You know, it's like, you know, you're more like, you know, everyone's welcome, but you also don't have to stay if you don't want to.
Yeah, I think that's completely reasonable. I know when I was doing weekly uploads with slot motions, which the uploads aren't themselves that good, but I can tell you that just became a chore, and that was part of what actually got me to lose my motivation for stop motion before Battle for Brickma. It's just kind of that I have to do this or else I'm messing up, or if I don't get this many views, it's just not that good. I don't know.
Right. It's like, you know, like I am getting kind of tired of this, and I'd like to do something that's much more breathable, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Something that allows me to breathe, that I can actually, you know, be consistent with.
And no, the only thing on Landini Linguini for me that I'm personally being like I need to upload is the podcast. That's like my only thing. I'm like once a month, but other than that, it's just random uploads when I feel like it.
Right. I will say, you know, I did get kind of upset with, you know, with you know, how just kind of how my channel was going. You know, I was kind of upset with how I wasn't really getting recognized anymore like I did back in the day, you know, even though now I put a whole lot more effort and all that. You know, it's just like, and you know, it wasn't really a reason to quit, you know, because, you know, I don't really care as much anymore because, you know, a lot of the people I meet in the real world, you know, like we have very, like, you know, I just tend to like have my own taste with things, you know, and, you know, I don't really, like, I've never really been a trendy person at all.
Yeah, same.
Right. it's like, I want to kind of just, figure myself out, and just see and, just kind of look into things.
Yeah, I kind of wrote all these questions last second, so I think for the most part I'm out of questions. If you have any other things you'd like to add or ask me.
Oh yeah, well yeah, totally, because given how similar, I think you and I both are, I wasn't really too worried because, I definitely knew I'd be able to kind of keep a train going with, what stuff that we can definitely discuss. Right. But yeah, so what kind of films would you say, kind of inspired you to, like, just kind of do your kind of content,
Then are we talking like sloth motions content or?
No, I'm talking Linguini content.
Okay. So it starts back to Battle for Brickma. That project, I gave it like my everything. It was a school project, and after that, I went through that like burnout. I just kind of took a break, and I don't know. During that time, I was like, I want to do film. There's a lot of ways you can express yourself through film rather than you can with stop motion, and it takes less time in its own way.
Most definitely. That's exactly why I swapped as well. Like, because it's all because I've always genuinely just loved just because like my whole life, ever since I was a small child, I've never lost the fascination with just picking up a camera and just hitting the record button and just making it up as I go along, like
just have a good time.
Yeah, it really is, and just having an audience, just having the audience kind of go with you. For a little while, I thought about doing, like film vlogs, but just doing cinematic vlogs. But then I decided, because I watch a lot of, I don't know if you've heard of these filmmakers, but, like Peter McKinnon and Matty Hapoya.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah. You watch those guys?
I used to.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like, they're like, their vlogs, like their content, oftentimes it's appealing. But at the same time, when you're vlogging, it can kind of be troubling to come up with it's just kind of a memorable story. I mean, it's great when the audience can kind of get to know you. So I may do like occasional vlogs just so
I think that's
the audience
the sweet spot.
Yeah, just to kind of give the audience an idea of who I am as a person. But for the most part, I kind of want to just tell like visual stories that are in third person.
Yeah, that'd be kind of interesting. Kind of like your your pet store trip was kind of like a little bit of a vlog, little bit of a film.
Right. Yeah, like because I didn't want it to feel too much like a vlog, but I was thinking, well, if it's a vlog, I may as well do it tastefully. And so I may as well, just play around with the effects and try out new things that I've never tried out before. So yeah, and surprisingly, those teleportation effects actually worked out as planned.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even think I'd be able to get the audio down either, so.
And it worked.
Yeah, thankfully.
And you did it multiple times too.
Right. But yeah, I don't. A whole lot of for the most part, I really want to make short films, because I want it to feel more artsy by making it more movie-like. So like, regardless of whether it may be a vlog or a short film, like I want it, I want it all to be done, just kind of with my own elements that make it, to kind of just make it interesting.
I guess, yeah. Do you have, because I know for me personally, like most 99% of my friends aren't in film or like enjoy film, so it's kind of like hard to get anyone else. If when I do want a film I want to make, it's kind of hard for me to get other people in.
Right. It can definitely, kind of. Yeah, I struggle with that same issue. Like, I've struggled with it my whole life. I've always, just done things by myself. Because back in high school, I really wanted to form a band, but, that never really happened. Like, I did wind up, getting to know people who actually, and they all said that they were down for it. The unfortunate thing is that, I didn't have a car or a driver's license at the time. So it was so difficult to just get people together and all that, and also the stress of dealing with all those cords and everything.
Cable management 101.
Yeah, all those cables just all over the floor. People will be tripping over them and all that. It's a stressful mess. It's just such a handful to just plug in all that stuff, like...
It's one of those things you'd rather just be the guitar player or whatever, the person that's not hosting it, and just be the person that's there doing it.
Right, most definitely. And it's stressful enough when you do it by yourself, like you definitely saw me struggle when in my first video on Glacier Rock, when I when I set up the electric guitar to finish up the song.
Yeah,
I even talked about the struggles and everything. But I also have it's weird because, I will often have all of these projects recorded but not done. They're all still just waiting to be edited and uploaded.
Just in the side project.
And then all of a sudden there's just this new film idea. So yeah, I better get those the 3 films I have planned now, so I can actually get this new idea done. Like, this new idea, I plan for it to just be a movie about mine and my best friend's relationship and all the stupid random stuff that we say to one another. But yeah, I wouldn't really recommend it towards people who are because it's kind of a lot of the stuff we say is kind of what's the word? Just kind of just some mild, some kind of strong language in it.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Viewer discretion is definitely yes. Viewer discretion is advised. It is intended for mature audience. I mean, it's not horrible, because there won't be no drugs or alcohol or anything.
How to do Part 101.
Basically, language is all you really got to worry about.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that. But obviously some people are, but...
Right, most definitely. So I definitely would set a warning for those, because, I don't want to draw the wrong people in.
Mm-hmm. I was like a 5-year-old watching. Whoops.
Right. I was such a bad child because, because when I was 8 years old, because you do know what YouTube poop is, right?
YouTube poop?
Yeah, they're like these dumb edits that people make of like TV shows and commercials and movies all the time, and they just edit them to make them just make them stupider, kind of like ruin your childhood. So yeah, when I was 8 years old, I was just watching videos about with people feeding their reptiles and all that, feeding the mice and all that. And then all of a sudden I just come across this video titled Poop Story Toys Gone Wild. So I clicked on it and it was just this edit of Toy Story. And there was just all of this mature stuff going on.
Oh no.
But I thought it but regardless of how mature it was, it made me laugh so hard with all the explosions going on. And just...
You're like, this is fine.
Yes. I didn't even know there was mature. I didn't even know that they were saying mature stuff. And then, I brought my mom in because I thought she'd also think it was funny.
Oh no.
And then as she watched, she was just like, "Oh, you cannot watch this. They just said this and that." So yeah, and just ever since then, just my mind has just kind of been messed up. Like I don't know, I'm just personally just the kind of kid who kind of goes beyond limits whenever like actually I'm just that type of writer, or just overall that type of person who doesn't really care how far things go as long as they work.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's
like
more organic that way.
Right. It's way more organic. It kind of just shows what goes through your mind. But and those who will definitely get it will definitely get it. But overall, like because of course you definitely wants to set warnings before people just head in there, because like you want people to know that you really mean well for all, and you just want to be able to make it fair for people who don't want to see it and those who actually do want to see it.
Yeah, don't want to force it.
Yeah, because like I do have an animated movie plan, a 2D animated movie plan. I will not be an animator for it, but like I will be because like I will be the overall creator, because
like the overseer.
It's gonna be all about my original character, and it's going to be a movie that's meant to convey strong emotion and kind of what I just kind of things that have gone through my head as I've throughout my life and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of being like an artistic representation of just kind of like my life experiences and all that.
Yeah.
So I created an original character, and he's kind of like this snowboarder in a band. He lives up in the mountains just kind of in this just kind of in this hotel room that they've that his job, or that like it's not really run down necessarily, but it's like, because like how at ski resorts there are hotels you can stay in, so he lives in one of those hotel rooms as an apartment. But and he kind of just is this artist himself. Him and his friends are like a bunch of street art. They're like street artists of the mountains. They've just kind of got that that style, that kind of like street boy style, like that just that kind of like street kid snowboarder style.
Mm-hmm.
And like a lot of them try to make music together, all that, but his story is I can only go on about what this whole thing is about, but just to keep it short, I'll just say like I definitely like I'm not gonna I will say the story overall, it's definitely, I will definitely hope people will like it. I definitely want to make it likable.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there will be parts where, that will just go as far as they need to be, if so, if necessary.
Yeah. Make it more. Yeah. I think that makes sense. I don't really want to
most definitely. So yeah, it will definitely take place in the mountains, like it's definitely going to be very expressive, both artistically and tastefully. It's like kind of going to have a Native American, like I kind of want it to have sort of also a Native American aesthetic as well.
This sounds pretty interesting.
Right. But yeah,
that reminds me, so I know that we just kind of got off track, but like I have another question I was kind of thinking of is, along with all this, like the YouTube algorithm, it kind of also adds to like when you get burnt out, once you go through the burnout, the YouTube algorithm kills what work you've already done, and it coming back, it makes it another just step harder.
All right, like I like, I can't like, cause back when it first started, but yeah, cause back when YouTube first started, I remember when it first came out, and my dad would always watch random videos on it, and yeah, so my dad would watch all kinds of stupid stuff on it, like David Blaine and all that, David Blaine Street Magic and all that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, back when it first started, like you'd be free to create whatever you want, and people would get excited about it, like it was just, all a good time.
The glory days of YouTube.
Yes, the glory days of YouTube. There was no ads you had to watch, you had to sit through and all that.
Yeah. There's only one ad, not two of.
Yeah, but of course, when companies start to make a lot of money, they can't really help but to kind of sell out and just start doing whatever they can to make money, and then they'll just wind up doing whatever makes them money, like and if,
ads.
yeah, and it's like and now it's all about like, if you want to be successful on here, you've gotta like think about your audience and and what they want and not what you want. It's like, man, this used to be all about freedom to express yourself, but because like content creating is supposed to be fun, and it's but like, what's the whole point of it if you are like if you're forced to
scream in every video.
Yeah, like if you're forced to scream in every video, and basically, like if you,
because some of the creators that PewDiePie or whatever,
yeah,
I feel like
PewDiePie.
he kind of feels very trapped by that very thing.
Most definitely, because like, there's nothing wrong with wanting to appease your viewers, but but if you are being forced to do it, like, I don't see a point in really doing YouTube anymore if that's the case, so there actually have been many times when I actually have debated swapping to another platform that's like it.
Have
but
you thought about Vimeo as one of those?
Yeah, I actually have uploaded to Vlair, this website called Vlair. It's similar to YouTube. It's basically like the old school YouTube.
I'll have to check that out too. So I have to check out Post Rock and Flare YouTube. I forget. Just reminding myself.
Most definitely. Hey, we've got similar taste in a lot of things, it seems. So if you've got any recommendations for me, I'm very open. So
yeah,
I'm an open.
I have any right now at the moment.
Yeah, most definitely. But yeah, I'm always open to looking into new things and just discovering the world, seeing what's out there. Because
new stuff is always a fun and a new adventure.
Of course, most definitely. I always want to have something new, because it's always great to have something new. That's the one problem with me, because I don't want to, like, the weird thing about me is that for one, my attention span, I'm always stuck in a trance all the time, that's kind of why I struggled in school. I was special ed and had an IEP because I have ADD, which means my brain is constantly stuck on auto. I don't really have a manual setting for my brain, so
it's just I go as I please.
Yep. My brain is an automatic car, not a manual car.
Yeah.
But so yeah, so I really want a job where I, don't have to be in the same place every day, and also don't have to always be forced to do something against my will. I don't want to be in the same place every day, and I don't want to be of course with every job you're going to be forced to do something against your will, but just something that's a bit less pushy about it.
Yeah, just can be today I want to do this aspect of the job rather than this aspect. And that's probably the most realistic.
Yeah, just have a freelance job, because there are there's like a variety of different things I definitely want to do, like paleontology and marine biology and being an animator, but but that's also why I chose film, because as much as I love making videos, that even if they're videos about absolutely nothing, it's fun to do. And you can basically just, make movies about pretty much anything.
What's on your mind, yeah.
Just the variety is endless.
It's funny that you say that, though, because I've literally streamed nothing before.
well, yeah, oftentimes I just do live streams to kind of hang out with the audience, just chill and chat.
Oh, yeah, the live streams are pretty fun.
Yeah, most definitely. But more recently, my motivation has been slowly coming back up because things have been kind of looking up. More recently, got a girlfriend, and finally cleaned up my room and dusted everything and vacuumed and cleaned out my pets' cages after just kind of having this weird state of mind where I didn't really feel 100%, so I just lay down on my bed and just listen to Modest Mouse just all day while hugging my pillow.
Having full-on conversations. But hey, congrats on that, man.
Well, yeah, thank you. Yes. Hopefully things are willing to stick this way, because normally it's been just I don't know. I haven't really, had the best of luck with, just situations like this, but,
yeah,
hopeful, but, I do feel quite good about this. And, more recently I've been wanting to just like sit down and just like kind of chat with people on my server and just have a good time playing Jurassic Park horror games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I more recently downloaded a Jurassic Park game. It's based off the kitchen scene, and you're supposed to just survive as long as possible and hide from the raptors and behind the counters and all that.
Is it free?
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is free, and it's pretty scary. You can just bet on that.
I'll have to try it out, though.
It's really scary because you're just like standing in there, you see, and you're just like trying to hide, and then the raptors the second the raptors come in is when it's scariest, because the sound design is so loud as the raptors are just walking around. It just builds tension, like there's no music whatsoever. You're just in that quiet kitchen area.
Oh, have you ever seen the movie The Quiet Place?
I've seen parts of it. The only reason I was a bit disappointed because the monster was CGI.
Oh, yeah. I still liked it.
Nonetheless, I did like the design of the monster, and I thought it was definitely fun to watch.
Yeah. That kind of reminds me of how you're describing that game, though. There's like no sound, and then the raptors are coming at you.
It basically is a Quiet Place, just with dinosaurs instead of a monster.
What's it called again?
It's just called Raptors. I'm pretty sure you can. Yeah, you can just Google it and download it. The download is available on Reddit.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'll try that out later.
Very fun stuff. But yeah, most definitely. Gosh, I don't know. I'm addicted to the Jurassic Park, Jurassic World series.
That's funny. When I was camping today, there was a car that had it's like kind of like that SUV type form of car from Jurassic, I think it was World. Like, and they had this bumper sticker stuff on it that made it look like it was that car. It was dope.
Oh, sick. Yeah, like one of those Land Cruisers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right. Well, I think this was pretty good. Pretty good spot to end it. I'm really glad to have had you on. You're my first guest ever, so this is.
Yes, I am. Very, very happy to be here.
Yeah. So if you ever want to be on again, I'm sure I could get you on. And
Cool,
honestly, it was
cool.
really nice because we both could relate to a lot of things.
Yes, most definitely. Yes, I am. Again, like that. I'm glad you were willing to have me here. I
Yeah, now you can say you've been on Spotify. Or no,
cool.
'cause-
Yeah. Sick. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're on Spotify now.
Yeah. So,
Cool.
I guess this finishes this piece of dough. See y'all next time.
Peace out, guys.
Wow, that piece of dough was really interesting. Moving on, we're going to mix the dough with the quote.
No quote? Yeah, there's nothing to say about it. On to the next segment.
To yonder yeeter, we are now moving on to our final piece of dough.
Alright, for my challenge for September, I'm going to keep this really short because I know this podcast is already running a bit long. I want to run a mile Monday to Friday for the whole month of September. And the reason is because I hardly exercise, and it's probably healthy to exercise. Just a small little thing. I also like running versus other forms of exercise. And then the 10-minute thing I did in August was mostly good. I wasn't perfect at doing it, but I did end up getting my room pretty clean at a point. So glad I did it, even though it wasn't like going black and white for a whole month. Alright, if you have any ideas for the podcast, I'd love to hear them. If you want to be a guest, just let me know. Just like today's episode, we had a guest and it was amazing. What is Linguinis Dough? This is where I talk about stuff I just care about or just think about. Right now I've been trying to somewhat keep a theme of productivity, explore new topics, and I'm really just trying out podcasting. I'll make 10 episodes, which next episode will be the last one of the season. Then I'm going to take a small break, and then I'll start on season 2, and it's going to be a little bit different than season 1. I have Slug Love 87, Going, Sharona Goes, Digital Memories, and Witness, all the songs from the YouTube library for the podcast. And hope to see you guys again soon. Bye.